This series of videos accompanies the booklet by the same name and is designed to be a quick reference for persons who are trying to learn the complex game of girls lacrosse. It is for beginners because of the need of spectators, coaches, directors of athletics, and umpires to learn the rules of the game. Neither the video nor the booklet is meant to be exhaustive or comprehensive, but a quick resource and reference before, during, and after games. For more information, go to sliderlax.com. Game personnel includes players, coaches, administrators, captains, officials, scorers, and timers. A full team consists of 12 players, one of which may be a goalie. For a player to be in goal while the opposing team possesses the ball, that player must be a fully dressed and equipped goalkeeper. The head coach is responsible for the conduct of all persons connected with the team. On request of the officials, the head coach will effectively control the conduct of his or her team's spectators. The head coach attends the coaches and captains meeting before the game and verifies that her or his team's uniforms and equipment are in accordance with the rules. By rule, only the head coach or field captains may communicate with the officials during the game, and they only may call a team timeout. Captains by rule are the only players on the field who may speak to an official and request a clarification of a call. Most officials will allow any player on the field to ask a quick question that will only require a brief answer. Each game shall have a game administrator or manager who by default is the host head coach if no other person is assigned. The game administrator makes certain that the game is properly staffed and assists the officials with spectator control. No one comes to a game to watch the officials, umpires. An umpire's goal is to become invisible but to manage the game and to let the players determine the outcome of the game. Usually at the middle school level, 2 umpires are assigned. Most high school games will have 2-person crews. At high level and many high school postseason games, you will see a 3-person crew. A 4th table umpire is sometimes added to the crew to control the penalty area and benches. Two umpires per game is the norm. With 2 umpires in a game, girls lacrosse has a very high player-to-umpire ratio, 12-1. This situation is made easier with the restraining lines that make the game around each goal a 7-on-8 game. Each umpire functions as both the lead and the trail at different times. An umpire is the lead when the ball is moving toward the goal to his or her right, and trail when the ball is moving toward the goal to his or her left in a 2-person crew. The lead umpire focuses on ball. The lead is always working to be able to see between the ball carrier and the player guarding her. The lead mentally draws a line between the ball carrier and the defender and tries to position himself or herself at a perpendicular angle to that line. We call this the tangent. Next, the lead will divide his or her critical scoring area into quadrants that come together at the goal. An umpire will seek to be in the quadrant adjacent to where the ball is, while also maintaining the tangent. Most coaches, players, and spectators do not understand what the trail umpire is watching. If the lead umpire is watching on ball, the trail umpire is watching everything else. The trail umpire is particularly watchful of 3 seconds and shooting space. He or she is watching for offsides by counting forward in order not to lose awareness of play in the CSA. The trail umpire is aware of the ball, but not watching play around the ball. He or she may, however, pick up on-ball play if there is a particular need based on the location of the ball. The official scorer will be from the home team and may sit at the table between the benches at the center line. If the scorer does not sit at the table between the benches, but in a scorer's box separated from the field, there must be radio contact between the scorer and the person at the table between the benches. The scorer records warnings, cards, suspensions, and ejections, and assists in timing the carded penalties. The official scorer communicates frequently with the tableside umpire. The scorer notifies the umpire immediately when a second yellow card is given to the same player and when a team receives its fourth card. The official scorer also controls the alternate possession indicator. After the coin toss, the scorer will be informed by the umpires which team has the first alternate possession and make certain that the indicator is changed when appropriate. If the scorer is not seated at field level, the home team is responsible for ensuring that the scorer's table has someone present and that this person has communication to the scorer and timer. The official timer will be from the home team and will sit at the table between the benches at the center line. The timer will review clock functions and timing considerations and signals with the umpires prior to the game. The rules now allow a coach to request a timeout through the timer. If you work as the timer, make sure you understand and are comfortable with doing so. If not, the coaches will need to be told. Before the game begins, the timer and the umpires will decide who will time a timeout, an umpire or the timer at the table. It is not unusual, especially at the high school level and below, for the officials to handle the times out. The timer may sound the horn to indicate a timeout request by the team in possession of the ball. The head coach or any player on the field may request a timeout. The timer should be aware of how substitutions are made and advise the umpires if there are any issues regarding substitutions. Substitutes must always enter the game through the substitution area, whether during play, during a timeout, or after a goal. A player who is substituting on the fly must be an imminent substitute and remain in the team substitution area until the player she is replacing has entered the team substitution area. Substitutes may enter the game during a team timeout or after a goal, provided there is no delay of game. During a timeout to issue a card, during an injury timeout or a dead ball possession timeout, no substitutes will be allowed. No substitutes are allowed during the time for switching of ends in overtime play. The official timer will inform coaches and players when penalty time is completed. Either table official should notify the umpires of an early re-entry on a penalty by sounding a horn at the first stoppage of play.